Hello and welcome to Mayfair Prestige. We've got some special video for you today. I've got a very good friend of mine in. So because he came in and we chat a lot on the phone, I mean every time I speak to him on the phone we're there for like 45 minutes an hour just chatting. So we thought today we'd do a video just having a chat about cars. So let me introduce him, my good friend and friend of the company, Sideways Sid.
Hello folks.
So we're just going to give, the good thing about me and Sid is, even though I'm in the car industry, I'm quite opinionated on cars and I have my own way of thinking about cars and cars I like and don't like. And Sid's also one of the most knowledgeable people I know about cars. I mean, when I need to know something about a car, or I always speak to Sid. He's the go-to guy for anything car related, and we're both quite opinionated. So I thought it'd be a good opportunity for us to give you guys a different angle of what we do at Mayfair Prestige. Selling cars is one good thing, but you've also got to talk about cars, enjoy cars. You've got to live the life of what we do to really get the most out of it. So here we go. Let's start. I think we're going to start the topic on let's not always go to supercars. I think so. These supercars sometimes are overdone. So one car I grew up with that I love, and I know he likes them too, is hot hatches.
Yeah, do love a good hot hatch.
So I think we should talk about hot hatches from the past and present.
Okay.
So where do you want to start? I think we should start at the past.
Yeah, you're from the
because I grew up in an era of hot hatches, and I used to have, funny enough, back in the day, I still remember the number plate, J545 UGM. I used to have a Fiat Uno Turbo IE.
Oh my goodness. I know what it is. That's way beyond my existence, definitely.
It was like 90s. It was a J-Reg. It was like 1994.
It's a cool little car.
It was an amazing car. But these are the days of the Renault 5 GT Turbos as well.
So that was just the dawn of really expensive insurance, where everything cost more than the car to insure.
And the beauty of them is you used to put like Alpine head unit. Honestly,
okay.
You used to get the key was having an Alpine head unit, and an acoustic back shelf with a bazooka tube. Because these were the days when there was no like in-car entertainment, so you had to do it yourself.
You had to fit it in yourself. No Halfords.
No, none of that. You had to go and buy your Alpine head unit. In the early days, the whole unit used to come out before they had the clip-off fronts.
Okay.
So sometimes you'd see people walking around with the whole stereo. It was amazing back in those days.
And then just bolt it into the boot.
Yeah. And then you used to have these things called like bazooka tubes.
Okay.
Which was like a big bass tube that used to sit in your boot.
Right.
Give you like boom, 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 the whole back window would like. But the great cars are the Renault Turbo, GT Turbo, 5 GT Turbo.
Yeah, cool.
Turbo IE, 205 GTI.
That's a wicked car.
What were your cars from back in the day?
I've driven a few cool cars back in the past. Like obviously from friends and so, and there are some cool bits of kit. I like the 106 Rally, Peugeot 106 Rally. They did the GTI, but they did the Rally. And Rally's a bit like GT3 as it is to a turbo. It's a bit more hardcore, steel wheels. It was, it sat a bit below the 205. It was sort of the baby of the range. I quite like that,
I never drove one. I drove the 205 was an amazing car. The 1.9.
1.9.
The 1.9 GTI 205. What a car that was.
Beautiful looking car as well.
You know what else I used to have?
Go on.
A Mark 1 Campaign Golf.
Really?
Yeah, A-Reg. 19... A-Reg, God's sake, what was that? That was like 19... was it an 80... I can't remember. My brain's gone.
Probably
82.
early 80s, because it came in late 70s, didn't it?
Yeah. But it was obviously, I was older, so it wasn't new, it was well used, shall we say. But I had a Mark 1 GTI Campaign Golf. That was an amazing car as well.
It's the car that started off the whole hot hatch era, didn't it, really?
That thing just, they don't make cars like that anymore. That fun with that just excitement where you could be on the edge of what the car could do constantly.
Yeah, and more importantly, they were smaller back then, weren't they?
Yeah, they were a lot smaller. I've owned quite a lot of hot hatches. That's why I think I've got a lot of hot hatches close to my heart. You know what was a great hot hatch, which I owned as well? The Clio V6.
Okay, well, what general would you have? Facelift?
Yes.
Okay, what colour?
It was silver.
That's nice.
Had the engine in the back.
Engine in the back,
Yeah.
V6, 3 litre.
Turning circle was appalling.
Yeah.
It was like
sketchy handling, short steering rack.
Yeah, it was amazing though.
Yeah, it kept you on your toes, didn't it?
Yeah, that was an amazing car.
No traction control or anything like that.
can't remember. I never tested it that far. I didn't own it that long.
I'd love to drive a Clio V6.
They're worth big money now.
Yeah, because they weren't worth a lot back in the early 2000s.
No.
People were shifting them at like 14.
No, they're worth. You look
like
online
30
now.
grand.
Yeah, they're worth
Easy,
big money.
Yeah, I know. It's a lot of car. It's not as sharp as say a 182 Renault Sport though, because obviously the big heavy V6.
Yeah.
But it is a proper bit of kit. I think all fast Renaults are just. I don't know what it is. It's just they're brilliant.
Renault were a great company. I don't know whether they kind of lost their way a little bit now.
They still are a great company. I think where it all. I mean the Megane. I've been told the new Megane RS is a cool bit of kit. Have you seen that? The new
No, I haven't seen
Megane?
it.
So it's 5-door only. It's got rear wheel steering. And apparently it's the go-to hot hatch. In fact, I was reading up a few articles and they reckon it's really, really cool. I want to get my hands on one as well too. But the Clio changed the paddles back in 2013. That's when they introduced the new Fiesta ST, which is now gone. And it was a paddles-only car, which really upsetted everyone because the last Clio was such a simple car.
Yeah.
2 litre, normally aspirated. You had to rack the living daylights out of it to get it going. Manual gearbox. Not really the most refined interior, but it didn't matter. You know, the car was pretty affordable. It was a get in, go fast and go hard. And then Renault decided to appeal to a younger audience and then bring in these fake sort of speakers in the soundtrack, so you can make your car sound like a Clio V6 and do all these clever bits and pieces.
Oh no, that's wrong.
And they, well, on paper it was pretty cool because they introduced a twin clutch gearbox.
Okay.
So it was like, oh, this could be pretty
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah, absolutely.
The gearbox itself was pretty cool, but the software wasn't great. So you pulled a paddle and sometimes it didn't respond that great. But then they brought out a Clio 220 Trophy and that eradicated everything. In fact, a friend of mine bought one a couple of weeks back and I drove it and that one's got the aquaprobic exhaust and so, wow. Still not...
What year are these cars?
So the Trophy came out in 16.
Oh, so they're quite late.
Yeah, so that was the car, so it's a bit more hardcore.
Yeah.
Better gearbox,
Yeah.
better chassis, a bit more refined, cool bit of kit. And you can pick them up for like 15,
Really?
16 grand.
That's actually a lot of cars for the money.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people out there, they don't want a manual gearbox in a hot hatch, which I can understand. I think you need a manual.
Yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with that. It's such a small car and you want to be able to chuck it about, be able to short shift, be able to gear down into corners,
Exactly.
get that real feeling off the clutch that you wouldn't get.
You need that. You need something to stir it up in order to make the sensations of driving working. But that's a cool bit of kit.
Yeah.
But still not as good as a Fiesta ST.
You know what car I had as well?
Go on.
Sorry to keep talking about cars I've owned, but
Go on.
I've owned a lot
Go
of
on,
cars,
let's talk.
unfortunately. I had an amazing, and I still miss this car. I had the Civic Type R.
Yes, you had a EP3.
Yes. And then, you know, when I first looked at it, I went to Honda in Colindale. That's where I bought it from.
Okay.
And when I first looked at the car, the gear stick was like up here.
Up there, isn't it?
And I first looked at it and I'm like,
It's a bit like a van, isn't it?
yeah, I was like, this thing's, you know, you expect the gear stick to be here, and it was like here. And I went in and I said, okay, I'll buy this car. I bought the car, it was black, amazing car, brand new. I think the car at the time cost me, about 22,000, something like that, 24,000 maybe. But I tell you something, what an engine that Honda Civic
That
had.
VTEC is
Yeah,
brilliant.
and the gear stick was in the right place.
Yeah, literally.
They got it right.
They got it right. So when you get up to VTEC, get up to 8,500
Yeah.
RPM, snap into a gear,
Amazing.
and the gear shift in them was proper.
Everything about that car, you know, you really had to get that engine up singing into the high revs before that car really came alive.
But when you do, oh,
Wow.
what a sensation.
Yeah.
And they're wicked. They are, I mean, the one after that, I think they got it a bit wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I've never driven. I mean, look, I've seen this, you know what, actually, I saw the new one on the road about 3 days ago.
Okay, yeah.
And there was about 2 cars in front of me. And I'm trying my hardest to get up next. You know when you see a car,
Yeah.
but you're like, you want to get next to it, and then all the traffic goes against you, and you're like, I just want to get up to this car. And I eventually got behind the car. And I've been, you know, when it first got announced, I was watching a few videos on YouTube about that new Honda Civic. People were saying it's very boy racery looks, and they couldn't get to grips with that spoiler on the back. And I got to the side of it, I got behind it. I got to say, I quite like it.
Yeah, it's. Do you know what colour was the one you saw?
I saw it in black. It was an 18 reg black.
That's the
I have
colour
to
to
say, I didn't mind. I thought it actually looked quite funky.
Yeah, I mean, when they first showed it, I don't know, a lot of people, including me, didn't find the looks that appealing. I thought it was a bit too much. But in certain colours, it worked. Black looks really menacing.
I think it looked amazing.
You like it, don't you?
Yeah, I thought I quite like a car that's a bit boy racery, a bit, you know, a bit out there. Because for that car, why not? It appeals to a market of people that want to maybe drive, you know, a hot hatch and want something that looks a bit funky and a little bit crazy in that spot. I quite liked it, I have to say.
People from Essex, basically.
Well, yeah. You live in Essex, don't you?
Yeah, people like me. Yeah, people like me. But no, they are a cool bit. I'm driving one in the next few weeks.
Are you going to have one?
Yeah, I'm going to have one.
Oh, you got to phone me and let me know what it's like.
I'll let you know. I'll let you have a go in it.
Because I think I need to maybe buy myself, because I was looking to maybe buy a hot hatch for myself.
Yeah, there's just something about hot hatches. I think, don't get me wrong, if you was to get like a regular mundane saloon, like a, I don't know, 330D BMW or a...
Don't start with BMW.
Alright, we'll ignore the BMW side. Alright, a C250 or an Audi S4, for example. Okay, you know, subtle, discreet saloon.
Yeah.
To most people, cool, but at the same time, you kind of go, well, for the same money or a bit less, I can go and get a hot hatch. That is still practical. But at the same time, on a back B road, I could have a bit more fun and I could be a bit more of a yacht.
But I'd like to buy maybe one from back in the day.
Yeah, to be honest, is there a hot hatch now that really gets your spine tingling than what it was, say, 15 years ago?
No, because I think the Golf GTI, I don't know, they kind of watered it down for me now. And then you've got that Golf...
Club Sport S.
Yes.
See, that to me, is the best interpretation of a hot hatch, a front wheel drive hot hatch.
Have you still got it?
Yep, still got it.
Where is it?
It's at home.
Let me use it.
You can use it if you want.
Thanks, man.
It needs running. It needs
On
running.
camera.
Yeah, but yeah, you can have the Golf.
I got that on camera.
You got that on camera.
Golf.
There you go. But to me, that's the best interpretation of a hot hatch.
Of the modern era.
Yeah, I think the thing is with Golfs over the years, they've got it right, they've got it wrong, they've got it right, they've got it wrong. So Mark 1, Mark 2, perfect.
Yeah,
Mark
I love
3,
the Mark 2, the 16 valve.
16 valve.
Yeah,
that was
an amazing
spiking
car.
up in value as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, but I love that car.
Looks so good as well. Those BBS wheels.
BBS wheel, acoustic back shelf, Alpine head unit.
Alpine head units, man. These 90s
Have an Alpine
guys,
head
man.
unit. Green, lit up green.
Yeah.
You got excited when you saw it was green.
Because
the Pioneer wasn't green, because it was like Pioneer or Alpine, and you. Anyway, sorry to keep going on the head unit.
So yeah, no, I mean, Mark 1, Mark 2, perfect. Mark 3, Mark 4 got a bit fat. Mark 5 was brilliant, return to form. Mark 6, again, kind of went backwards a little bit. Mark 7 was the best, but the GTI was still a bit tame. But then they brought out the Golf R, and then everybody went, ooh, the Golf R's pretty good. And Golf R's from the past, all right.
Yeah.
But this current generation, Mark 7.5, is really good. The Mark 7, just at the end of its production line, when they wanted to update it, they brought out a Club Sport S.
Okay, this is the one you've got.
This is one I got. So one of 400 ever produced, out of Europe, because obviously it went out to Europe and certain countries. 150 came into the UK, and obviously came in various different colours. Now, it has the engine out of the, basically, they're all 2 litre turbocharged engines, so they're pretty similar. 310 horsepower. It's got a clever electronically controlled limited slip diff, which is what you want. Michelin Cup 2 tyres, which is something that you don't find on a hatchback. It's something that you find in not on a Speciale or a GT3 proper bit of kit. No back seats, and it's just perfect, absolutely perfect. It is, the best way I can describe it is, if Porsche's GT department, if they were to build a hot hatch, that's the car they'd make.
Well, technically they did build it because it's the same group.
Yeah, it's the same. And it's the same engineers. So yeah, you know.
Technically they did build it.
It is them. And it's just perfect. To me, I think that's going to be a car in many years to come. People will look back at that and go, do you know what? Volkswagen just went absolutely crazy with this car, because normally they just make tame, safe cars a bit dull, and that Club Sport S was just an absolute ride. And it won loads of car magazines as well. I mean, it came second in the Evo Car of the Year 2016.
So it must be good then.
Oh yeah, and at that time there was what, the V10 Plus, the Giulia Quadrifoglio, the M2. There was a lot of cool cars, good cars, and in the top 2 was the 911R and the Club Sport S.
What's the price are they new?
So the prices of them were 34, 35 grand.
Not bad actually.
Yeah.
Considering if you look like, one car that I think is really expensive is the Mini. I mean, a good Mini. John Cooper Works is probably more than that.
Oh yeah, easy. You can get up to 40 grand.
Yeah, those things are not cheap.
They're not cheap and they're not good.
No, I agree with you. I saw you did a video on minis.
I did a video on one.
Yeah, I watched it when you were going around a go-kart track.
Ran a go-kart track. Yeah. Yeah, so I thought...
Typical thing.
Literally, I thought, what am I going to do with this car? Because it's a bit dull.
So that Golf actually isn't bad value for that kind of money then?
It wasn't bad value, and then when they first came out, like most cars, they were selling at, 20 grand over list. Some were going at 55 grand.
Wow.
And then they dropped down a bit, and now they're back at the, low 30s again. So low to mid 30s. You could get one with 10,000 miles for about 32 grand. And, if you don't have any friends like me, and you just want 2 seats, then that's the perfect car. But honestly, it's brilliant.
So it's got no back seats?
No back seats.
There's nothing in the back?
Nothing in the back, just a bar and a net.
That's it?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
It's proper.
I don't know, I might look to buy one, but I won't buy your one.
Why not?
I've seen the way you drive.
Oh, nice. I'll put 4 new tyres on it.
And 4 in the boot.
Yeah, 4 in the boot as well, just for compensation. But no, I don't think there's a particular hot hatch that gets me. No, actually, I quite like the Focus RS.
Yeah, I have to say, Ford, funny enough, make really good cars.
They make the most exciting cars as well, more importantly.
But I think the price bracket they're in, they've good value. And you know what, the new build the new build Fords are actually well built. The new generation Fords are actually really well built.
No,
they're put together pretty well. I mean, I'm talking about a Mondeo, a Focus, a Fiesta, anything in the new range. The build quality of these Porsches and the infotainment systems they use and all the bits and the gadgets, it's very, very good, I have to say. And they're not, overly expensive for what they are.
No, they're not at all. I mean, I had a couple of weeks back a new Fiesta ST, 8th generation. So, I was in that car. And one thing, they've upped from the previous generation was the build quality. There was nothing wrong with Ford's build quality. They were pretty robust. But now they're built by Germans as well, which helps.
Yeah.
They're just a real nice bit of kit and value for money. There's just nothing else out there that
No, they're
just
pretty
does
cool.
what they do. I mean, the one I had on test was 25 grand. But that was a 5-door. If you just wanted a 3-door, lose a couple of options, it's 21 grand.
It's not bad actually if you think about what you're getting for that money. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a great car, it's built well. The insurance can't be that bad on them, can they?
No, it's not too terrible. They do get nicked quite a bit, but
So does everything.
so everything gets nicked. So it all depends on where you live, etc. But do you
Yeah.
know what? It's a cool car. I mean, it's a 1500cc 3-cylinder, and it sounds wicked for a 3-cylinder. It sounds like an old air-cooled 911 at certain revs. It's
I think
brilliant.
you're getting carried away there.
No, I'm not getting carried away. I'm being serious.
911.
It does, seriously. Like between 1500 and 2000 RPM.
You just
it
gotta
sounds
hold it
really
there.
good. Yeah,
Just hold it-
just
just
hold
hold-
it.
just
there
hold
and
it
you
there.
think you're in a Porsche.
Yeah.
So, or if you go into a tunnel or something, you'll hear it and you think, oh, is that an i8? Is that an old 911? And then you come out and go, oh, it's a Fiesta. But it's a cool bit of kit. Seriously, it's dripping with character, and it's still the best in class. But with the Mini, I had that, and that was a 31 grand car.
They're expensive. I have to say, I've had a few Minis in terms of stock cars that we've sold, and I mean, look, they're great. We've had the John Cooper Works ones and some real souped up ones with all the toys and gadgets on.
They're a special place to sit
But
in.
they're not cheap.
They're not cheap, and they don't owe their money.
No, and that's the only thing. I just think for what they are, I think it's the BMW factor that sent the price up.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I had the facelift one, so it's got Union Jack lights in the back now, and they've updated.
Yeah, I've seen all that with those Union Jack. I've been behind one, and it's quite cool.
Yeah,
that.
it's really
Quite
cool.
like that.
And if you take your mindset out of the driving experience, because it's
No,
like the driving car. I did say in my video they should call it a tubby rather than a Mini, because it's grown in size.
Yeah, it's
a bit
massive
big
now.
It's too big.
It's massive.
And I don't think it's a good looking car with those big headlights. They've gone down a Peugeot route. It looks like a Peugeot partner in certain angles, like a van.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not so keen on that. The car I have had, and I used it. It was a 2009 car, and I used it a lot when I was.
Yeah.
I had a Fiat Abarth. And before the 595, I had the SS Abarth.
Okay, cool.
I have to say, I used it in London. I could park it anywhere. It was manual. had beautiful engine in it. I really like that Fiat.
Do you like it?
I have to say, I really like a Fiat Abarth. No?
I just don't like the way they drive.
I quite liked it.
I need to drive another one again. I've been told by a few people, get back in one and drive one again, because you're getting the wrong idea of it. It's actually a cool car, but you're thinking of it as a driver's car. So, but apparently, I have heard them. They sound really cool for a and they're quite special in an Italian way as well, aren't they?
Yeah, they've got a bit of Italian style to them. I know they've got the 595, the 695, the Tributo, the Ferrari. There's so many editions now that I get confused with them. But the one I had was a 2009, and it was back then they did something called the SS edition.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the one above. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have the white wheels and stuff?
Yeah, I think so. Can't remember.
They're cool. They're cool.
I loved it.
Kit. They're fun.
Do you know how much the insurance for that? The insurance was nothing. I think for me to insure that car at that time was about $600 a year. And it was nothing. You put petrol in it. It lasted like 2 weeks. I zipped around London. I zipped it around London, in and out of the traffic. I could park it. It was so small you could park it anywhere. I love the car.
That's what you want. That's the beauty of small hot hatches as well. The fact that they're small, they're cheap to run, cheap to buy. Moving from that, it is a cool bit of kit. But I don't know. I'm not sure about the way they drive. I've driven a couple of them. I don't like the steering. I don't like the seat position. I think it's way too high. It feels like you're in a van.
What, in Fiat?
Yeah. I need to. But maybe I'm thinking of it wrong. Maybe I need to.
You need to get back in one.
I need to get back into one again.
Yeah, they were cool. But you know what? I know you've got that Cayman, the GT4. I know where you bought it from. It's a good deal.
It was a really good deal.
And nice colour. Your car, I have to say, the yellow looks amazing.
It does look great. It's nearly a year now.
Is it nearly a year? You know what? It's time for an upgrade.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Well,
I know you've been looking at it.
No, I've been looking in the corner.
I know you've been looking.
Not to look at it.
I know you've been looking.
Like that, really.
We'll do a good deal.
Yeah?
You should move into it.
Do it. Good.
Because I don't know what your opinion is. You know what? I made the videos you might have seen on Porsches, and obviously I'm not getting the views that other people are getting at the moment, but hopefully in time we'll get some more views and we'll get some more comments. But somebody did leave a comment on the video that I put out, and they commented about Porsches looking like a Beetle, and I really get annoyed by this. I have to be. I don't mind comments, and I know I didn't reply to the comment, but I think
to the world of YouTube comments, mate.
Yeah. But I'm hoping we'll get more. But you know,
it's a debate on the comments.
I think that's so cliche comment to make about Porsches in this day and age, where I know how you feel about Porsches, because obviously you're a Porsche owner. But the new, look, Porsches have made stunning cars since the 993. They fell away a little bit at the 996.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
The 997s are great.
Brilliant car, Gen 2 as well.
Listen, 4 litre RS, amazing car, properly numbered.
Yeah, GT3.
Not a mess around car, not one of these one of 499, one of maybe, we don't know, we might have slipped a few more out. Proper numbered, like that. Yeah, numbers on there. That Porsche made some amazing cars, and I have to just say, the modern Porsches are so. I drove the 3.8 GT3, the 991 first generation, and when I drove that first, I was like, wow, this is just incredible.
The engine's just
incredible.
Oh, it's amazing.
Just an incredible experience. You know what the problem is? Let's take the looks, let's take everything else away from the car. Exhaust noise, everything those other cars may deliver, let's say like Lamborghini and Ferrari, and let's just look at it purely on a driving perspective. That car was so amazing for a driver. It was so focused towards the driver.
You've got to work it to get the most out of it. It requires a skill set, and if you don't get it right, it will bite you in the arse.
Yes.
And not many manufacturers or manufacturer supercars do that. You jump into, say, a 458, for example, or a Speci RD or something like that. Really quick steering, Malatino, you've got side slip angle, you can whack that thing in race, go around the corner, boot it, catch it. You could be an absolute thickhead and not even have a license, and you can catch that slide really well.
Yes.
And I think there needs to be a fear level. And not many cars do that like the GT3, and I think the GT3 is just such a perfect thing. From the engine to the styling, I think it looks humble as well.
That's why, that's why I'm thinking this Beetle comment. I think it's so. I hate to say this, and I know we got the comment, and I shouldn't really comment back, but
did you comment back?
No, not yet. But I'm going to comment on the video now. It's very kind of Top Gear 1999.
It's a bit Clark.
It's a bit like he said it. It's in everybody's head that this thing's it's a Beetle.
It's like the Boxster thing, isn't it? Oh, you bought a Boxster.
I
bought a 911.
Boxsters are lovely.
They're brilliant.
There's nothing wrong with a Boxster.
Nothing wrong
and
with
you know
Boxster.
something? The price point that Boxster's in. Tell me a better car.
There isn't.
Tell me a better car than the Boxster.
A better open top car. Z4 doesn't do it.
No. Tell me.
Honda S2000's gone.
Yeah.
So
where is it? There's nothing. Exactly.
It's in a class of its own.
Yeah. I think that Boxster with where the engine is, it's so well played. Like the Cayman. The balance of the car is amazing.
Yeah.
The power is enough to be fun, but not enough to feel that you're going to die.
Yeah, or lose your license.
Yes.
It's the right amount. It's the right amount for a back B road.
I don't understand why people knock that Boxster.
People knock it, a lot of people like it, especially the Boxster Spider. I mean, that's a pretty car, isn't it?
Amazing looking car.
And I reckon they're going to go up in value more than GT4s. Just because of the sheer prettiness of it and how light on its feet it is.
Before you bought that GT4, I used that car.
Okay.
And I hadn't driven one before. And I have to say, that GT4 is so amazing.
It's usable power, isn't it?
Wow. And that rev matching with the sport button and everything. I mean, that car is just on point in terms of manual, balance, noise. It makes a good noise as well.
It makes a great noise. Low down, you get that really nice rasp.
I think body styling, it looks great. The colour, I think, really sets that car off.
Yeah.
I have to say, that I think that GT4 is so good. I mean, I'm looking forward to the new one.
I am as well, and I think the new one, well, so it's a debate and everybody's going to be talking about it, but I think the next one's going to be turbocharged. And that can be a good thing, in the sense of, even now when I drive a Cayman GT4, I still think the chassis is so far beyond, it needs a bigger engine to sort of excite that.
Yeah.
And I think a turbocharged engine might give it that sort of experience. But then from a purist point of view, they want a nice linear power delivery. We don't know.
Aren't they going to make two versions of the car?
They might. I don't know. In the magazines, people saying they're going to make two versions.
Porsche keep everything kind of low key.
They keep it all stum, really, don't they? So there could be a turbocharged one, and then there's room for a RS version, which could have a GT3 engine in that. We don't know, but I think that's what this is. Oh my goodness!
Can you imagine they transplanted the engine out of a GT3?
I don't know how they're going to do that.
And put it in that.
I don't know how they're going to do. I don't know how are you going to detune that engine?
The only problem you're going to have, funny enough, is you're going to have to dumb down the car so much, because if you did technically transplant the engine, you'd actually make the Cayman a better car.
Yeah, no one will buy GT3.
Yeah, that's the problem. So you'd actually have to detune the car to a level where it can sit under the 911.
Yeah.
So they could have a problem actually by putting that engine in the car, because you'd make it so good if you just left it as the engine that is in the GT3.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think for the minute when the GT4 arrives, after the GT4, because obviously say for example that's a turbocharged car, then you've got the 992. 992's coming.
Yeah,
by that time, 992 turbo, GT3. After that, by that time, 718 will come to an end of its life cycle. RS will come. So I think that's when it'll come. I think that'll be another 2 years.
But I really think you should consider, because I know you were looking at it, and the colour is fantastic.
Take a crayon, silver wheels, with ceramics, perfect. Absolutely.
It's the best spec.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's right. It's
and I said on my video that I didn't realise how great the crayon colour was until I saw it.
Yeah, I know. At first, when they were arriving on delivery, I thought there was one too many of them. But you know what? Guards red's nice, racing yellow's nice.
Yeah, I know you like the guards red.
Yeah, I love my guards red and the sapphire blue. I think I love them in sapphire blue with the silver rims.
Yeah.
I think silver's coming back in as well. I think silver rims are proper. But crayon, it just looks so subtle and right, and it's not your typical look at me, I'm in a really expensive supercar or sports car. It's just I've got a Porsche. I'm not here to park up outside nightclubs. I'm here to do track driving,
Yeah, I enjoy driving. That's the difference. I think people that
exactly
enjoy
that.
driving, and you know, I think the second comment that on the same comment, but the other point that the chap was making was about the interiors not being of the same level as Ferrari, and I completely disagree with that. I think Porsche interiors are so user-friendly to the point where everything's where you need it to be and everything works well.
I think was he saying that from a styling point?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, okay, then the Ferrari wins that hands.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
But from a build quality point,
That's what I mean.
and logically, where all the buttons
Yes.
lie, it's so simple. You've got a normal screen.
Yeah.
It's got the new PCM.
Touch screen.
Yeah, with Apple CarPlay.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. Plonk.
Exactly.
Plug your phone in. Easy. You can daily that car.
It's even got cup holders.
Yeah.
2 of them.
Yeah, the little push out.
Yeah, because there's been times where I've taken a car home from work, a really nice car. You know, I've got up in the morning, I've come to work, I want to grab a coffee, and I grab the coffee, and I'm like, oh my god, there's no cup holder, and it's so annoying to be able to, you know.
Podgy coffee.
Yeah,
Bumpy
like
ride.
you know.
Looks like you've had an accident. Yeah.
But no, I think you should seriously consider buying the new Gen 2 GT3.
Do you know what? It is a cool bit of kit. I mean, obviously, I had one for a week, kindly from Porsche GB,
Yeah.
and we did a video, and we took it to Knock Hill Racetrack, and I absolutely loved it. I think I've driven Gen 2 RSs. I haven't driven the GT2 RS yet, but I think that is the sweet spot in the 911 range. It's just right, you know. It's usable enough. You can play about with that engine, and I think like I said, from a driving point, it's not too hardcore.
No.
As a road car, it's still pretty usable. I mean, I drove it up to Scotland and back, and I was amazed by how comfortable those seats are. Because it's got the 918 seats.
That I find
they're really good.
And I like the seating position. I have to say, the
Yeah,
way
it's
that
nice.
they're fixed, you can't move them. You can only move them back and forward.
Yeah.
You can't move anything else.
Yeah, it's proper. It's the right position. You
Yes.
can see out of it really well.
Yeah.
You know, it's the right size. It's got nose lift. You know, hit a button, nose up goes up on them. It's just perfect. And after coming out of that and getting back into the GT4, the one I love the Cayman GT4. I think it's a wicked car, especially the price point they're at the minute. I mean, what else could you get? But the engine in that GT3 is just that
Out as well.
Oh man, when you from 8 to 9,000 RPM, it's just I can hear it now in my head. It's just the most orgasmic soundtrack ever.
No, I have to say, I do like the way Porsche sound. Some people love the way Lamborghini sound, the way Ferrari sound. I have to say, I'm a big Porsche fan, but yeah, everyone knows that about me.
We can go on forever about
Yeah.
Okay, new topic. One of your favourite, because I know you've talked about this before.
that. Oh yeah.
We're going to talk about the Bull.
Lamborghini.
Lamborghini.
Oh, Lamborghini, here we go. An Audi in drag, literally.
Look, I'm not a massive fan of Lamborghini.
Neither am I. But there are certain ones I like.
Which one?
Murcielago.
So you like the Mercy?
I love the Mercy.
Why?
It's just got this scary attitude about it. Which is what Lamborghinis are about. Don't get me wrong, I understand it's all about show. It needs a bit of go. It's not the most dynamic car in its class, but when you drive it, it's just big, cumbersome. But at the same time, when you get it right, I drove an early one, a Gen 1,
Okay.
with a manual gearbox.
Yeah, it has to have a manual.
It has to have a manual, none of that crap that you get. And oh man, it was brilliant. I slid it about, I think you saw the video, I think I slid a Murcielago about.
Yeah, I think I saw that. It was a while ago.
It was a while back.
Yeah, I think
Early
I saw
days of
that
Sideways Sid, where people were throwing expensive stuff at me and going, yeah, just slide it about. I liked that. I thought it was a cool car. And then I drove the Aventador, and I found it horrendous.
Just a standard Aventador.
Standard Aventador.
The old generation.
Yeah, so 2011.
And you didn't like it?
No, didn't like it. I liked the styling.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
look, they
cabin.
look great.
They look awesome. Lamborghini are great at styling a car.
Yeah.
And it to last for many years. I mean, the Aventador shape's been around since what 2010 when they announced it. So we're coming up to over 8 years now.
Yeah,
And
it still looks
as
fresh.
fresh.
Yeah, I agree.
But when you drive it, I mean, the e-gear first off.
No, I got to say, I mean, look, we've had a few Gallardos in stock over the years, and not for a while, you know, when they were popular, let's say, but that E-gear was beyond bad.
It's not great. Especially when you compared it to Ferrari's F1 gearbox, which was in the F430 at the time.
Yeah, that's a lot better gearbox.
Oh my goodness, it's at least 50% better.
Yeah, I mean, you press reverse and you may as well just wait.
Yeah, the annoying thing about, I mean, the Gallardo, again, a pretty car, but obviously this was when Audi first got their hands on something. I mean, the Murcielago was a bit, I think the Italians were still in charge. I think it was 20% Audi and 80% Lamborghini. That's why half of them didn't work. But the Gallardo was a full-blown Audi, and what I didn't like about it was it had bits of old Audi tech in there.
But they still got that.
Yeah, it's still got it now.
Still got it.
Inside
any Lamborghini is Audi tech.
Oh yeah, and I think we need to move on to the car that everybody's talking about, and we're in a world of SUVs, is the Urus.
The SUV market for me at the moment is getting really saturated with cars that, I mean, the Urus I'm not a big fan of, and the price bracket it's in, I think it's an expensive car for what it is.
I can call it extortion if you ask me.
I mean,
it's a lot of...
If you look at the Audi Q8, it is a very similar car.
Oh yeah. It's I mean, when Audi bring out their S version of the Q8 or RS version, that will have effectively the same engine as the Urus. Yeah. Now, it all falls, we've had a phone call about this in the past. V10 Plus and Lamborghini Huracan. Now, same platform.
Yes.
You know, you drive the R8 and you go, that's a wicked car. In fact,
I prefer the R8 to the Huracan.
Oh, of course. If you was to have the one supercar to get in, go, use every day, it is the Audi R8. It's just really good at that. And then Lamborghini go, do you know what? We'll take that platform and we'll make it worse. Literally, you know, the cabin is great. It's a beautiful place to be in. It's a pretty car, but dynamically, it's not as sharp as the V10 Plus.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Audi V10. I mean, I love the look of the Spider on the V10 Plus. For me, I think the Spider looks amazing,
especially at the rear.
Yes, I think the Spider looks better than the coupe because I prefer the lines across the back of the Spider. To the only thing that I tell you something that I wanted to put out there. The only thing that does disappoint me about the Lamborghini is this. Let's say, for argument's sake, a lot of people grow up with Lamborghinis on their wall and they strive all their lives to buy a Lamborghini,
which a lot of kids do.
Yes. So, I mean, I'm not overly tall. I'm 6'1". You're quite tall as well.
Yeah.
So You've made enough money to go out and buy your Lamborghini.
Yeah.
You go into your Lamborghini garage, you sit in that Huracan, and God forbid you're 6'2" upwards.
You're in trouble.
You're in, I mean, not just trouble, serious trouble.
What about the Spider? It's even worse.
I mean, when we had a Spider, I was literally looking over that, you know, the line. I was over it.
It's a noddy car, isn't it?
Yeah, and that is one thing that I thought was so disappointing about the car, that if you are tall and you're not, you know, small kind of racing car driver size, you are, you know, I'm not overly tall, but you are tall, and you really wanted that Huracan, you couldn't fit in the car. No. I mean, in the standard Huracan, my legs are literally almost on the steering wheel.
Yeah, it's like they've moved the firewall by another 5 inches. But what I don't understand is how have Audi got it right?
Yes, the R8, you can get it. Right. Yeah.
What's going on?
I don't get it. When the platform is the same, the engine is the same.
Yeah.
The R8 is actually a comfortable car, even if you're tall.
Mm.
But the Huracan is just beyond.
It's easy to see out of as well. You can't see jack all in the Huracan, really.
And the only other thing I don't get about the Huracan is that people talk about the exhaust noise. And what I've noticed from driving it is it doesn't matter if you're doing 30 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour, or 90 miles an hour. When you lift off the gas, the pop-pops are the same.
Yeah, and I think a lot of these manufacturers now are doing these pops and bangs and crackles, and it's all mapped. It's all mapped into the power band, and it's too much sometimes. You know, it's great on a little hot hatch, like a Golf GTI.
Yeah, get a few bangs and popples and crackles.
But when you've got a normally aspirated V10, which is all singing and dancing to 8,000 RPM, you don't need pops and bangs.
But they don't change. Why is that?
I don't know. It just, to me, it just seems like a lazy job. Sorry, Lamborghini, but I just every time I get into Huracan, I just think, what in someone's great mind goes, do you know what? I don't want an R8. I'm going to spend 50 grand more and get something that's worse. Okay, you're buying the badge. I understand that, but take badge out of the equation. Get that snobbishness out of your head.
Yeah, the R8 is a better car.
Yeah,
I agree with you, 100%. I think the R8, and I think the style. Funny enough, I prefer the look of an R8 Spider than the Hurricane.
Yeah, the Hurricane's a bit too high.
Yeah, I prefer the look of the R8 Spider than the Hurricane.
It's a pretty
and
car.
The only thing, I mean, I haven't driven one, so it's hard for me to comment. And I've been offered a lot of them to buy, and I've always turned them down purely based on the fact that they were too expensive at the time to buy. And obviously, being in the car business, you know, we have to work to some sort of margin. It's the business, you know. We're in business of buying a car for X and selling it for Y.
Yeah.
And I have been offered them. Is the Performante, and I'd love to drive one because I can't see how. Because every video I saw on this Performante said how amazing it is. But how can you go from where the Hurricane for me isn't a great car to it being so much better? Like I'd love to drive one to experience, is it really that much better than the Hurricane? And are people who are putting out these videos saying, oh my God, it's the best car ever, it's amazing, it's a blister. I mean, I think, didn't it set the lap record at...
It did hold the lap record before the GT2 RS sort of killed it round the ring, and it set.
But there was some controversy on that, okay, wasn't there?
Yeah, a lot of people called bullshit on it, basically.
Yeah, I'm sure they use very sticky tyres. I'm sure they remapped the car slightly.
Yeah, and you've got to realise, you know, the track layout at the Nürburgring's always changed. They always try and make it safer every year. You know, sometimes the apexes are changed due to accidents and stuff like that. And, you know, conditions, and also it gets resurfaced every hour. Okay. So you can set faster lap times year by year, just down to
changes in the track.
Changes in the track.
But I'd love to know if it's as good as people are making out. I mean, look, eventually, look. One thing I've realised being in the car business is eventually every car comes round to us.
Oh, of course.
Eventually.
Yeah.
You know, I get my hands on most of the cars that come. It may not be straight away, it may be 6 months down the line, it may be a year down the line, it may be when prices settle. I mean, you know, I think, again, they weren't making the Performante as a limited production car, were they?
No, they weren't. And when
the market seemed to get flooded with them at ridiculously high over prices when they first came out.
They've dropped now a bit.
They have. I mean, they've dropped heavy. And you know what I noticed as well? When I was looking, somebody rang me and said, do you want to buy one? And I went on Auto Trader like you do. There was a lot of cars available. And that's always a bad sign because then obviously you're competing with so much more cars that are out there. And unless you price your car into a bracket where, you know, your phone's going to ring as opposed to someone else's phone, and a lot I've turned down on that aspect, that the people wanted too much money for them. There's a lot of cars out there. You know, I think too many orders Lamborghini took from speculators that were hoping that they could buy the car from Lamborghini and then, you know, sell it on for whatever, 20, 30,000 over the list. And
which a few people did.
Yeah, I think the early people got away with it, and then the market kind of caught up with them. But as a car, I'd just like to know if it's as good as people thought the car was.
Oh yeah, same here. I'd love to have it going on.
I'd love to
have
have
a track, you know, just to see if it is.
Because I've driven the SV to the Aventador.
How's that?
Uncomfortable. I have to say, look, for me the seats in that SV are like, I mean, look, it's a great car, looks amazing, sounds good.
Oh yeah.
That V12 sounds amazing. Looks wise, it's great. We've had roadsters, we've had coupes. You know, we've had a few SVs, but I have to say the seats were really hard. I mean, like
you just look at them.
Yeah, and within, you know, half an hour of driving that car, you're like, wow, this thing's uncomfortable. You know, because the suspension is much more rigid. You know, you can feel every bump, every crevice, every knock on the road, and you really feel it through the seat.
Yeah, but so is the standard Aventador. I mean, the one thing I didn't like about the standard Aventador was it's very hard to place it on the road. You've got a low roof line. You know, I remember at the time I was driving around in a Range Rover, and as I jumped out of that and jumped straight into that, I was like, oh my goodness, you know, it's very hard to place that car. And manoeuvring was very difficult because it's an E-gear and it's a single clutch and it's very hard to modulate. But more importantly, the ride was quite firm because it's got push rod suspension all round, and because it's got massive section tyres, it can also follow camber. I don't think it's a B-road car at all.
No, I don't think so. I think it's more. Look, we know that Lamborghinis are, they're more for people that want to be seen as opposed to people that want to drive.
Yeah, if you want to get a lot of girls and phone numbers, that's the car to have.
Yeah, doors up. Pop the doors, happy days.
Outside
But
the nightclub.
look, the SV, I didn't think it was a terrible car. I found it quite uncomfortable. Look, I don't mind the drive of an Aventador. I think, look, if I'm going to buy a Lamborghini personally, and my heart is set on buying a Lamborghini branded car, the only one to buy is the Aventador. I think the Huracan I would discount immediately.
Yeah.
I'd go for the Aventador. I have to say though, the Aventador S is a big step up.
Is it good? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard that from a lot of people. Apparently, the gearbox has been solved, the ride's been
Yeah.
solved.
The rear wheel steering helps.
Yeah.
Kind of shortens. It does definitely make the drive, I think. Whereas the old Aventador seemed like it was dragging its back end a lot, where it feels a lot more happy
It just
around.
didn't feel complete. And another problem I had with it was it didn't feel dangerous enough. And I think that's what you need in Lamborghinis.
Well, that's what I like
fear
F12s.
factor. Yeah.
I have to say, that's what I love the F12
Yeah,
for.
F12's a beast.
The only other car I think personally I've driven where I think the danger factor for me became like on the 9 out of 10 Richter scale was the 599 GTO.
Oh, I can imagine that.
I mean, that is another car that just is screaming, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you, I want to murder you.
Mr. Clarkson called it Kato, didn't he?
It's just unreal. That for me, I have to say, when I've been in a car and I'm like, oh, even in a straight line, you get those little twitchy
That's the
moments.
buzz, isn't it?
Yeah.
You want that adrenaline
Yeah,
rush.
and that's why, I mean, look, I said that about F12s. That's why I love the F12. It's
That's brilliant.
purely based on that fact that there is so much power under your foot. And unless you treat that car with respect, you're going to end up stacking it. I mean, most Ferrari accidents probably start with a sentence, watch this.
Oh yeah, watch this. CST.
Yeah, when you're with a
Turn
mate,
around.
watch this, and then that's it, forget about it.
Well, it's got really quick steering, number one in the F12. Super quick steering. Like, one cough or a sneeze, that's it. You're off the road.
It's a great car.
But
though.
it's great. It gives you that sensation. And it's just a front engine Ferrari. It's just something quite elegant about the whole thing.
What do you like? Do you like the 812?
I do. I do. I think it's a cool car. But I think... I thought it came a bit too soon. I look at the F12. I prefer the styling of the F12 personally.
Yeah, that's what I'm
cool
thinking.
about-
I prefer the look of the F12.
Yeah, I prefer the F12 personally. And at the same time, I don't think the F12's aged because I think the 812 has come a bit too soon.
Yeah, but funny enough, if you look at the last 3 front-end Ferraris, taking away the 2+2s, I don't think the 575 or the 550 have aged that badly.
Oh no, 550.
Which is the one that was in Bad Boys?
Well, it was a combination, wasn't it? But it was a 575.
It was a
I thought.
575.
It was a 575, but when they did the action shots, they threw in a bit of 550.
That
In silver
car
as
still
well.
looks
Oh,
amazing.
looks great.
And that hasn't
Lawrence
aged
shooting the
badly.
dashboard as well.
Yeah, I mean, that hasn't aged badly, funny enough. But
It's beautiful.
I think the styling, for me, of the F12 is nicer than the 812. I prefer it.
Yeah, same here. And, I know with the 812, a lot of people have said, it's fast, it's got 800 horsepower, and it could put the power down now thanks to its new tech and its new air and bits. But, as you mentioned in one of your previous videos, I mean, over a 488 for the money, or a new 488, you can get yourself an F12.
I'd rather have a 2013, 2014 F12.
Yeah, and it's a car that you can cross continents in.
Yeah.
It's super practical.
It's comfortable,
It's easy
really
to-
spacious.
Yeah, brilliant. Whack it into bumpy road
Yeah.
mode. Off you go. Twin clutch
I'd rather have
gearbox.
it.
Yeah, it's a.
And I think, even when you're looking at older Ferraris, the beauty of the modern Ferrari, which I think where Lamborghini lack behind, is that 7-year service pack is so valuable to the car. So even if you're looking at, let's say, a 2014 F12, you've got servicing till 2021.
Yeah, you've got 3 years left. Yeah.
You can, they come with a 4-year warranty, which is extendable. Obviously you have to pay Ferrari for another year, but you can extend the warranty. The service pack is just worth its weight in gold. You've got no headache in servicing for the first 7 years. So that's why I think when I said in my video I'd rather have the F12 that was slightly older than a modern 488 is purely based again on the fact that you've really got very low running costs for that car.
Yeah, you do.
For the next, let's say, what are we now, 2008? I mean, 19. You got 2-3 years of headache-free driving. It's still with that car, and you may only keep the car 2-3 years.
Yeah, and I think it will hold its money great as well. You sold that for virtually the same money as what you are.
Pretty much, because I think these big engine V12, big cars, I think with the new Euro stuff and turbos and engine emissions, I think these are going to become more and more rare as we go down the line. Everything's obviously, one day they want us all to be driving electric cars, but I think that's another reason why the V12, I think buying a V12 is a good investment now, because who knows, in 5-10 years time there may not be a V12.
No, there might not be, and it's just something so special, and there's a majesty to a V12 engine, isn't it? And the F12 offers that. So does the Aventador, and so does,
Yeah,
V12
I mean,
cars.
I would personally favour the F12 over the Aventador.
Oh,
but
100%.
I can understand why people buy the Aventador.
It's the wow factor of the Aventador, and like I said, from a styling point of view, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's not the best driving car in the world by any
no,
means.
not.
I don't think it's. It doesn't excite me when I drive it. I find the rake of the window quite hard to deal with when
It's
you're
quite claustrophobic.
when you're trying to look at a traffic light or something and you're right underneath it and you can't see when it's green. It's, I'm not too. I know that start button switch everybody likes, that kind of flick up start.
Yeah, it's cool.
I'm not so keen on the infotainment system though.
No, it's straight out of
Old Audi
Audis.
technology.
Yeah, old Audi MMI system.
But that's one thing I think is quite funny about the Urus. I mean, I may be wrong here and I don't know, but I think the Urus has been given the old Audi system, whereas the new Q8 will have an updated system.
No, funny enough, it is running the new systems.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it is running the new systems in it, but it's awfully similar in the sense of the bongs, like the door noises and beeps, and everything you hear is all Audi noises, which is quite annoying really, because if, VAR Group have this new platform, which the new Bentayga, the Porsche Cayenne, the VW Touareg, and the Lamborghini Urus is on now. Porsche,
it's all about R&D. They just can't afford R&D.
No, they can't afford R&D. It's all cost, and obviously it's all it's all about making a profit. Now, Porsche make their cars super distinctive. So you jump into a Cayenne, there is no resemblance of that car to say something like an Audi Q7.
No, there's
at
nothing.
all.
Yeah, it's
from the way it drives,
Yeah.
to the infotainment,
Yeah.
to the build quality, nothing. Even the key. With Lamborghini,
yeah, you get an Audi
everything's
key.
the same. Yeah,
Yeah.
the key's the same with
Yeah.
a different badge. It's like, come on, Audi. I mean, Lamborghini, try something different.
I suppose, yeah. I mean, look, I don't know why I understand probably why they went into the SUV market, but I don't know if it was the right. I mean, look, they did it with that LM002.
LM002, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like 25 years ago.
Yeah, which was quite a cool looking
Oh, it
car.
was brilliant. Built for the military, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that was for a different reason. But I can't really work. I mean, look, it's all about profit and loss and orders and money, but I don't know if it's the right move by Lamborghini to go in the SUV market.
The thing is, as I'm sure you know, and as I'm sure most people know, SUVs in general are the thing, especially in the UK. People love SUVs. You know,
Yeah.
we walk out right now, we'll see Bentegas, we'll see
Yeah, Range Rovers.
yeah.
Yeah.
SVRs. They're
Yeah.
all super popular, and most car manufacturers are making more profits out of their SUVs. And a lot of people don't like SUVs, and I can appreciate that. But Lamborghini have probably done that because they can make more profit out of that.
Yeah, it's purely based on that fact. I think
it's
just
a money grabbing thing.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's doing any justice to the brand.
No, and I can understand where you're coming from in that respect. But you got to look at a brand like Porsche.
Yeah,
Their best selling cars are the Cayenne and the Macan. Now, if they
I
want
like
to
the
say-
Macan. Funny enough,
Oh, I love the Macan.
I think the
Macan's
Macan's a
brilliant.
great little SUV.
It's brilliant. The best way I can describe that is it's a Golf R that's a bit more rear driven. In terms of the way it drives, it's
I
just
really like
awesome.
the
Super practical. They hold their money well.
Very
I think they
well.
look cool. I think they look really, really
I'd have a
cool.
GTS.
Yeah, GTSs are sick.
That's
They're
what I
so cool, so cool. But in terms of as a company, if Porsche wasn't making the Cayenne or the Macan, they wouldn't have the R&D or profit to make out of the, to build a GT3, GT3 RS, GT2
True.
RS. Because they don't make, these big high-end supercars, they don't make money out of them really. There's not, valuable profit in the brand. You know, Porsche GT department actually makes a loss on some of the cars they sell because they underprice them, and I'm sure that's the same with Lamborghini with the Aventador.
Yeah, but if you look at Porsche, they make far more models than Lamborghini.
Yeah, their range is far
Much
more extended.
better.
You know, especially over the last 5 years.
Yeah,
You've got
yeah,
Panamera, you've
yeah.
got all sorts. You've got
And also
Michelin.
different variants of the 911, from the Carrera, the 2, the 4, the GT. You know, there's so many different variants of the 911 that Turbo S. You know, that they make a variety of models where Lamborghini, in effect, only make 2 cars.
Yeah, and I think eventually, I hope Lamborghini will start making different variants. I bet you any money there'll be a hybrid variant of the Urus. I can put money on that 110%.
Yeah, there should. I mean, look, the SVJ's coming out. I'm not too sure about it. I've watched some stuff online about the car. I'm not sure about the looks. I don't know if they're taking this too far. I don't know if after the SV, you know, are they really rinsing every juice out of the lemon to do with the...
Yeah, are they doing a Pagani with the Zonda, just bringing out special?
Can't say that.
Why?
Never say anything bad about Pagani.
I'm not saying anything bad about
You can have
Pagani.
as many,
I love the Zonda.
You can have as many editions of a Zonda as I.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. The Aventador.
Yeah, I
let's
know
be
what you mean.
honest,
I'm
it's
kidding.
a bit of
Dude, I'm
a yeah,
kidding.
but
Just
it's
Pagani. I love
you love
Pagani.
it. No, it's
I love
the
Pagani.
engine, man, is just cool. But yeah, I think the Aventador needs.
You
to
know
be
where
better.
he's genius. You know why he's a genius, Horatio. You know why he's a genius, and sets him aside. Because not only did he build one of the best looking cars ever made, and interiors that are like designed just incredible. I mean, it's just I've looked at a few in person and they're just incredible.
It's different.
It's just incredible. But where he's a genius is he got AMG to build the engine.
Oh yeah.
That move in itself is pure and utter genius. Why? Because it gives him the reliability that nothing else will give you.
Which for a small supercar company,
Yes.
that's what you need.
He can provide the styling, he can provide the buttons to be crafted from one piece, all the stuff that you get with a Pagani. But then the power plant, the important bit, the heart of the car is built by, if not one of the greatest engine manufacturers ever, AMG.
Yeah, and it's the best combination, and also it was a carbon tub as well. You know,
Yeah.
one of the first introduced, and the styling to this day is just fantastic. I think that's probably one of the greatest hypercar companies, especially in the small space. You know, when did they arrive? 98, 99.
Yeah,
And
with
then-
the first Zondas. Yeah.
Yeah, the Zonda, and you know, the thing was, it was just a thing out of. I think a lot of people underestimated it. I think a lot of people thought, well, here comes another hypercar company.
You know,
3 years'
me
time, it's gonna
and
go
my
bust.
managing director, this is going back a few, I think about 2, maybe 3 years now. We went to go and have a look at a Cinque for sale at the time.
Beautiful.
And we went to see the car. It was a lot of money at the time. And I tried to tell him, buy the car. That car is probably worth double now what we got offered that car
easy.
for.
That 7.3 litre V12. I mean, we're talking about F12s sounding great, but this
Different
is
level.
another world.
Yeah, different level. And
It's just a combination of anger and an F1 car altogether. It's amazing. It's my childhood car. I grew up with the Zonda, so I think it's just incredible.
but I have to say that AMG move, you know, was genius.
Oh yeah, it's a bit like Nokia, or forget Nokia. Say a new mobile phone company comes along, and then they get their batteries, their screen, and most of the build tech from Apple.
Yeah,
That's exactly what
just
they did
amazing.
as a hypercar.
Just an amazing car.
Yeah, it is a fantastic machine, and the Huayra is also a cool bit of kit too.
I prefer the Zonda. I have to
Oh, of
prefer
course
the
I
look
prefer
of the
the
Zonda
Zonda.
to the
Yeah,
Huayra, but I mean, look, Pagani for me, I love Paganis. I'm always going to love them. I can't wait to eventually get one. One day, hopefully, we'll manage to secure one. I think I'll find it hard to sell it once it's up here and with us, because I just want to be next to the car all the time. But I just love it. But I just coming on to the fact of engines and build. I think AMG just make fantastic engines. And you know something, that Project One I think is going to be. There's not much out on the car, but I think it's going to set a very high benchmark for the future.
I think it's going to change the industry
Has
altogether.
to. It has to. Because other cars over time have been billed as F1 cars. you know, where they, you know, the F50 I think had an F1 engine, or not an engine, but some kind of
gearbox,
F1, something from it. But this is this has actually got his F, you know, this has
it's got an F1 engine.
Yeah, I mean, this is incredible. This is taking car manufacture to a whole new level.
Oh yeah, it's going to change, like I said, everything. It's a bit like when the Bugatti Veyron came on the scene over 10 years ago, and it just changed the industry in terms of how fast the car can go.
Yeah.
And I think the Project One is going to change in terms of how fast a car can handle, how fast grip levels are.
And I think it's going to rev to something ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it's going to rev beyond silly thousands of RPMs. I don't know exactly what
it's going to be incredible.
Oh man, could you
it's
just
going to be
imagine?
out of this world.
Yeah.
But
and that's a road car.
I know.
A road car.
It's insane. I think AMG. Look, I'm a big lover of Mercedes.
Same man.
Out of the German manufacturers, apart from Porsche, I mean, I like Mercedes. I'm not so keen on BMWs, as you know.
Yeah,
I'm not a big BMW. I know you like your BMWs, and
I like my older BMs.
I can't get to grips with them. I can't get to grips.
Yeah, but
with
you
them.
like the 1M though, don't you?
Yeah, I don't mind. As BMWs go, I think the 1M is the nicest BMW you can get. I'm not so keen on an M4 or an M6. I just don't get the car.
How about the new M2 competition that's arrived?
It's nice. I don't know. I just can't. You know, I think BMW have been let down by their interiors now for a long time. I think the way the dashboard is now, the way I just don't like. I don't like the iDrive system.
Do you not?
No.
I think it's the best in the business.
I don't like it.
You prefer the Porsche's one, don't you?
I prefer the Porsche. I don't mind Mercedes, funny enough.
Yeah, they're command.
It's probably because of what I'm used to.
Yeah.
You know, because I spend more time in Mercedes, I think I'm more used to the command system, and I prefer the feel and the way it works on the command system. I just prefer Mercedes. I like an S-Class. I think S-Classes
amazing.
Drive fantastically for where they are priced. I think they are a great car to buy if you are looking for a comfortable saloon, 4-door, leather, all the toys in there. I think it's just a nice place to be.
Or even a 2-door, if you know, when S63 Coupe. I mean, that's a beautiful looking
Yeah,
car.
we've had a few. I've had a few. I mean, the S63 Coupe, I think, is again a great car.
Yeah, no, it is a stunning bit of kit, and I think it does the job of being, you know, going fast, yet keeping you in comfort.
Yeah, which is a nice thing. I mean, look, I'm an age now where I like comfort. You know, I think comfort. You know, that's one thing I like about the Bugatti. Funny enough, is as fast as a Bugatti is, it's very comfortable.
But that's what they set out to do, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's actually not that difficult. You know what the thing about the Bugatti is? When I first drove it, apart from the price tag that I knew the car was worth, which is a lot, and I obviously didn't want to prang it and make a call to my MD saying, you know, your Bugatti. I didn't want to make that call. But apart from that, it's not actually an intimidating car to drive.
Is it? I get the impression. Is it a bit like a Bentley Continental?
Very Bentley. It's really weird. It's like a really super fast Bentley.
I can imagine it's just relaxing, even though you've got 1,000 horsepower behind you, right?
Yeah, it's actually
just wafty.
If you don't want to drive it really ridiculously fast, it's actually a really nice car to be.
I don't think it gives you that encouragement as well, because
No.
it's quite big and heavy.
And it's not. You know something else where it's not noisy.
No, it's. But you know,
It's not like like one of these like SV Lamborghini, you know, really loud, shouty exhaust. It's not a noisy car.
well, the boss of Volkswagen, before he was leaving, that was his project, wasn't it? He wanted to come up with a car that was capable of doing over 240 miles an hour, yet being comfortable and elegant, and you can travel places.
It's a great car.
Yeah, and they achieved that.
And I think the Chiron is just taking it to that next level again.
Oh yeah. Well, they reckon that's a 300 mile an hour car.
I think so. I think the problem they've got at the moment is not knowing how the tyres are going to react.
Yeah, I know. You wouldn't want to put a test driver in it at 300 mile an hour.
That's the problem.
If the tyres work. Yeah.
I think it's the rubber.
Yeah, I think they'll, you know, Michelin, who work closely with Bugatti, I think they'll come out with a tyre eventually
That works
in the future.
Yeah, but in reality, how many people are going to actually take the car to that
No
speed?
one. I bet no one. I bet no one's taken a Chiron to a track day.
No. I mean, in reality, how much road are you going to need to even get it up to that speed? You're going to need a long road. You're going to need a clear road. It's
Even by my standards, I don't think.
no,
I
you'd
could
get
rip
it there. You get it there around Essex.
240 around Essex.
You get it there around Essex.
No, I'm a bit sensible.
I've seen your videos. You're not that sensible.
You you trust me with your cars?
Yeah, just about.
Just about, yeah. But no, they are a cool bit of kit, and it's not really the power; it's the aero. That's where it comes into play with those Bugattis. It's
Yeah, but don't forget they're heavy,
Oh yeah,
which helps.
with stability, but then it's stopping the thing as well.
Yeah.
It helps at one point as in stability.
Yeah, but you've got to get it to stop as well. But the stopping power in the Bugatti is excellent.
Oh, it's pretty excellent, and it can stop straight. But Koenigsegg, another big hypercar brand,
Yeah.
you know, they make some pretty crazy stuff too. I mean, you know the Regera.
I love an egg.
Do you like an egg?
Yeah, I love an egg.
That's another one to have. Imagine Mayfair Prestige having
Don't.
a Huayra or a Zonda actually.
I'll be so happy.
And
Koenigsegg's.
yeah, Koenigsegg, love them.
I love Christian von Koenigsegg. He makes wow. And you know what I like is the little logo of the ghost.
Yeah,
I think that's such a great touch on the cars.
yeah, he's so cool, and he's got a level of psychoness to him.
Yeah, but you need to have that. 'Cause
Yeah,
I think they set the record, haven't they? Are they still holding the record now?
I don't know. It's
Because they set that in Vegas, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
I think it still holds the record.
Didn't Hennessy do something? Did it beat the Hennessy?
I think so, yeah. No, it
FMG
beat the Hennessy.
okay,
I'm
cool.
sure it set the record. But I can never get the names right. Is it the Agera or the Regera?
No, so you got the Agera.
Okay.
The Regera is the new current one,
Yeah.
but
I'm a bit lost with Koenigsegg's.
one of their guys tried to explain to me how fast it went in one gear, and I couldn't fathom it.
But they're great
It's
cars.
amazing, absolutely amazing. So the new Regera, well, not new, it's been around for a couple of years now, but the Regera, it's got this party piece where you hit the button and it just showcases everything. Like literally, the doors go up, the front clamshell goes up, the rear clamshell goes up, and it's just, you know, it's
Stunning.
a proper party piece.
Stunning.
And it can do some incredible braking performance. I think I watched a video where one of their test drivers, he wasn't that old, you know, he's a few years older than me. A right nutcase. You think I'm crazy? You see this guy? He's braking at 190 miles an hour. He goes, "Yeah, watch this." Just takes his hands off the wheel and it just brakes
In a
dead
straight line. But that shows that the car's been well produced.
Oh yeah, another small brand company came out in the 2000s.
Yeah, I think what they're doing, I think, is setting a benchmark for what is possible from companies like them, where the R&D and the level of money that Porsche and Ferrari and Lamborghini have far excels what they can play with.
Oh yeah, exactly. When you take into Bugatti, for example, you know, they're in charge by one of the most richest manufacturers.
Yeah, VAG
ever.
Group.
Yeah, the VAR Group.
Yeah.
You know, and Koenigsegg, no offence to them, they're a small company that started out in Sweden somewhere.
Yeah,
you know.
but he makes his own engines, doesn't
Yeah,
he?
makes his own engines.
Which is actually a bold move.
Oh, that's very bold.
Because, you know, when you make your own engines, you got to provide reliability with that engine.
Yeah.
You know, because that if you for 1 second let your clients down with engine problems, you know, that can ruin your brand so quickly.
Yeah, it can. I mean, obviously this is slightly moving off topic, but you know, you've got someone like TVR, which, you know, back then brought out some dodgy engines.
Got some dodgy cars. It wasn't just the engines.
Yeah, well, you know, the engines, the cars, everything was, but they're cool. They are cool.
Car called Trevor.
Yeah. Don't buy a car which is of a person called Trevor. Can you?
Well, look, you know something. Unfortunately, with me and Sid, we could literally make this video 3-4 hours long.
Oh yeah, it can be a radio station.
I mean, honestly, we could. This is nothing. We're going to carry on even once we cut the camera.
Oh
so,
yeah.
unfortunately, we're going to have to cut it there. So I hope you guys really enjoyed the chat. I hope you give us some good feedback from what we're doing. And if you do like what we're doing, I promise you we'll make more. Because, like I said, me and Sid have got so many more subjects to cover. I mean, we have. This is nothing. This is the tip of an iceberg of where we could go on manufacturers, cars we like, cars from the past, cars from the future. We haven't touched on pistas, we haven't touched on so many other things that we could bring up and in another video. So it'd be great to get some feedback from you guys. I hope you really enjoyed. Thanks for coming in, Sid. Honestly,
thank you for having
it's
me.
always
Appreciate
a pleasure every time you come.
Oh yeah.
We love you here. We love you coming in. We'll try and do some more stuff in the future. So thank you.
Thanks. Cheers.
See you again soon. I
I told him just to get it serviced and send me the bill and order the floor. He didn't f***ing tell me that, the little bastard. I did, I told him, I swear to you, I said, get the car serviced at Porsche Colchester, send me the bill and I'll get it paid. That little f***ing blighter.